Welcome, guys, to this RPG one-shot that I'm running here on my channel, Chalice and Chains. My name is Sam, and I'm going to be the Demon Master for the day. Organized it through the RPG one-shot group, so that's pretty awesome. What I'm going to have you guys do, if you don't mind, is I'll just have you kind of introduce yourself, the name of your character, maybe just like a really brief background. Just so we kind of get an idea of what your character is about, and then we'll go from there. I think I'm going to start with Josh, and then we'll go Jason, Clay, and Chester. Let's take it away.
Joshua Kirk, and this evening I will be playing Belarus Thane, the executor of Weejoss. He was once a human criminal in life that was forced to sell his soul into the service of Weejoss when a job went wrong, and it nearly cost him the life of someone he loved very dearly. He now has to fulfill her whims across the plains, and is forced into her service until he is able to repay his debt.
Awesome. All right. Jason will go. Oh, and if you guys have a YouTube channel that you want to plug or anything like that, you can do that as well.
Oh, in that case, roll with the punches. Check it out. War of the Gods one-shot series is going on. If you're interested, check out the OSG. We're on there.
Yeah, man, that looks awesome. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but I definitely have to. All right. Yeah, Jason, you're up.
All right. I'm Jason. I'm going to be playing Xavier Hallowell. He is just like normal master student working on his doctoral thesis when his mentor died and left him a bizarre puzzle to solve. And while he was questing, he found his way into the service of Hogma, the God of Knowledge.
Awesome. And you had a bit of a unique magical weapon, right? Did you want to describe that, or do you want to wait until we're in game to show that off?
I'll wait till we're in game.
All right, cool. Awesome. All right, Clay, you're up next.
Well, tonight I'm playing Azael, who grew up as a part of a cult. He was a warlock and trained as an assassin by the warlocks. And when he was sent out to assassinate a particular group of clerics, he ended up kind of seeing the error of his ways and changing sides. But then all of them got killed by his former tribe of warlocks, his cult, and that is when he swore an oath of vengeance and became transcended into a paladin of St. Cuthbert and became a radiant.
Nice.
And he wields the mighty magical spear Amitai, which means truth.
Sweet, excellent. Thank you. All right, and Chester, you're up.
All right, I am playing Victor Wolf, a fighter cleric. When I was mortal, my character basically led his city in defense of invaders that were trying to, slaughter his townspeople. And it looked like they were winning, my character and the townspeople, but the invaders actually did something that was pretty unthinkable, or at least, to us. They went and made contracts with demons and basically summoned them, and they just slaughtered everyone and left me mortally wounded. And so as I was dying on the battlefield, I cried out to the gods to let me live, and I will be their tool, their weapon, their vengeance. And one of the gods answered my prayers, not the one that I was hoping for, but Cord took my oath and renewed my body, and now I serve him, and I will stop at nothing until I destroy all his enemies.
Excellent, excellent. All right, great. Well, that's awesome. And I will, I'll jump into just a little bit of background here, and then we are good to go. So, you guys are Radiants, the holy avengers that the angelic beings imbued with divine power to help fight against the demonic forces that have been invading the earth since the time of the Cataclysm. The Cataclysm was an unknown event. Nobody knows why it happened. Although there have been some rumors and some sort of secret rumblings that there may actually be knowledge of it, but it's secret. It's kept hidden. But what has happened essentially is the veil between the material plane and the infernal plane has torn, and it allows free passage for the demons into the infernal plane, and vice versa, although nobody's gone into the infernal plane, because that would be terrifying. So what has happened in the beginning, about 2 years ago from the start of our adventure, there was not a lot of activity. It had just happened. Some of the clerics and paladins were aware of something going on, and some of the arcane masters were as well, but nobody really knew. And there were a few demon incursions here or there throughout the land, but for the most part it was quiet until about 6 months ago, when everything started ramping up and you started seeing hordes of demons coming through in some places. Cities were sacked, nations were brought to, a flaming ruin. The world itself was being slaughtered. And it was at that point that the angels descended from the astral plane and really fought back a large host of demonic forces. And it was at that point that they also called their radiant allies, who knew the humans and knew the mortals on this realm because they were once part of them, into battle, and said, you guys are now it's up to you to help fight this fight. And so you guys, from your different deities, have all been called down to the town of Dorgren's Reach. You know that Dorgren's Reach is a orc town, or village, I should say, really, and you have the prayers to your gods have been basically, we need help, something is happening. And so you guys have been called down, and you guys, the way it works is you guys come down from the astral plane basically in this great ball of white light, and ascend onto the mortal plane, the material plane. And so you guys have done so right outside of the village, about, you could see it, but you're not, within the village proper. And you guys have been made aware of each other, even though you're from different gods. You worship different gods, and your power has come from different deities. They have all kind of united in the sense that none of them want demons taking over and destroying all their followers. So immediately, you guys are standing in this field outside of this village. And off to your distance, you can kind of see the foothills that lead into the Great Iron Mountains. And the village of Dorgren's Reach is a small village, probably, a population of anywhere from, maybe about 300 orcs, halflings, and some various other, a dwarf here or there, some half-orcs, stuff like that. And so the village itself, as you look upon it, it's in flame. It's completely aflame. And you notice that some of the different buildings have, they're made differently. There are some stone buildings with tiled roofs that seem to have, they're not on fire, they've weathered the damage fairly well. But you also notice that there are thatch buildings kind of spread out or thatched roof buildings made out of wood, I should say, spread out, and they are completely ablaze. So as you guys kind of look on this horror and your senses fill with, just that burning, acrid smell, you notice a couple of figures coming towards you. And as they get closer, you realize that there is one large armored figure sitting on the back of a saber-toothed tiger. And flanked on either side are what you can only imagine are halflings, unless they're children, but they are riding on the back of these large mastiffs. One of the mastiffs is pure black, and this thing looks vicious. If you guys weren't badass, you might be intimidated by it. The other one is brindled, and these halflings, you'll notice, are very tribal. They're not wearing any armor. They're carrying spears, and they have these tribal tattoos on them. But they also have the slave brand marked into their forehead. And they kind of stay back a little bit from this armored figure. And as he comes up, he kind of pulls, his mount to a stop, and he leaps off. And he flips the visor up on his helmet, and you can tell it's an orc. And what stands out about this orc is as he smiles at you, he's got this look of relief that comes over his face, even, kind of drowning out or pushing aside all of the weariness that you can tell is there. And he has all of his teeth filed to these sharp points. And he's got scars and tattoos all over his face. And in one hand, he's carrying this spear, and it's got this jagged blade. And on the other hand, in the other hand, he's got this just wicked-looking crossbow with bolts that seem to have like smoke rising from them. And he looks to you, and he says, "Thank the gods you're here. Groomsh has answered our prayers." He says, "My name is Garlac Sabertooth. I'm the chieftain of this village. And by gods, we need your help." He says, We've been able to fight off some minor devils that have appeared, but there's something here that, well, we've never seen before. It's massive, and it's not something that we will be able to fight on our own. We just ask that you go in there and give us enough time to get the women and the children out, and then we will join you to take this thing down, or die if we must. Will you help us?
We will end the We will end the blight of your demons. However, we are not here to help you. Your lives are meaningless.
And he looks and he sort of accepts that answer. He's like, "If you're willing to help, then we're willing to accept it."
Take us to this creature.
He says, "Very well, I will." And as they're about to turn, you guys notice, kind of off to your distance, you sense this like evil presence in your mind, and you see all of a sudden just kind of appear out of what looks like a shimmer in the air. These creatures, they look almost reptilian, but they have these spines and barbs all over them. And there are about 4 of them that are coming at you at first, and then there are kind of off about 20 feet to your left, there's another 3 that pop out. And you see Garlac look over, and he spits on the ground, and then he kind of says something in Orcish, that you guys recognize as a command to the 2 halflings. And he lowers his visor, he looks to you, and he says, "We'll take those 3. But you take these out, and once they're dead, we'll lead you into the town so you can take out this horrible creature. And with that, I'm gonna have you guys roll initiative.
Wow,
You want us to just put it in chat?
Yeah, that's fine.
This is looking to be a great night so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I roll?
I didn't get a 1. I will say that I did not get a 1.
Well, that's good.
Alrighty. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, so Josh, you get a 17?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Alright, so Bellaris gets to go first. And these creatures are coming at you, but they haven't quite made it to you yet. So you have the action to start.
Okay. Around me, do I see the corpses of the dead, like that they've slaughtered in this village and stuff so far?
No, actually, you don't, because you're still
No,
outside the village a little bit.
okay.
You haven't quite made it into the village yet.
All right. Well, in that case, Bellaris will just. About how far off are they?
I would say about 30 feet.
Oh, okay. He'll just stop, pretty much exactly where he stands, and you see him draw these two like glowing red blades from his side that seem to sort of drip with almost like an ethereal blood. And one right after another, he flings them at two of the ones that are charging towards them, and I'm casting Chill Touch.
Nice.
And I am able to hit 2 because of Death Cleric. Hooray! So.
Very cool description, by the way.
Well, let's see if they hit. All right. So, first one probably is going to be a 26, and the second one's going to be a 17.
Okay, both of them hit.
All right.
Yeah.
Alright, so they're each going to take 8. So the first guy takes 6 necrotic damage, and the second takes 5. As you see the blades like pierce into them, and you literally see like them suck like some of the life force, like you can like see it blood drawn up into the blades from their wounds as the blades like slowly turn into a red mist and then float back to Bellaris, reforming in his hands.
Awesome. That's great. All right, so Xavier is up next, unless you wanted to take another like a move action or anything.
No, that is it for me.
Cool.
Alright. See me and music coming. Xavier is going to pop up into the air for a few feet, get a better look.
Absolutely.
These things look a little familiar.
Yeah, they do. You guys can identify these as a barbed devil. They should not be too much of a challenge for you, but clearly they have given the locals here quite a bit of trouble. Although, as you kind of look off and you see the orc chieftain and the 2 halfling warriors engaging, I mean, they are accomplished fighters, and they seem like they are having they're not having an easy time with these guys, but they're certainly holding their own. They look exhausted, but they look like they know what they're doing. So they seem like they're all right. But yeah, you guys basically see these, the 4 kind of devils near you, kind of literally just all lined up next to each other, because that's how they came into this plane. So.
You'll see if they're full out, but you guys will recognize a revolver. But
I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you. I don't know.
Is that any better?
Yeah. Yep, absolutely, that works.
Yeah, the mic on my headset's not working, so it's using the one on my actual laptop.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So, hey, then you'll hear him call out Gemini, and a second one will appear there in his hand, and then he's just with that note of these things look familiar. You'll just see him pop off a couple rounds at the one of the ones that was hit by one of the swords there.
Okay, so you want to did you say, are you firing at one of the ones that Bellaris hit, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and roll for your attack.
Okay. 24 to hit on the first one, and second one, so I can actually read you. 17 plus 9.
That's all right. You hit. You definitely hit him.
Okay.
Yep.
How many of these things did you say there were?
There are currently 4 nearest you guys, and then there are 3 engaging the orc and the 2 halflings. Yeah, awesome. All right, yeah, you deal 26 damage. Go ahead and kind of describe what it looks like as you fire your revolver.
You see a couple of bolts of golden light just shoot forth from what can only be described as a small barrel-looking thing, and they just stab through the chest of this creature. They're just straight through, almost like a bolt of lightning.
Awesome. Yeah. And so as you kind of, do you fire them regular or sort of gangsta style, you know?
I'm gonna fire
regular.
regular.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, as you fire them, and these bolts of lightning just shatter into this demon or this devil that just had already taken some damage, and it lets out this just demonic roar. It is enraged. It is pissed at this point. So it's ready. It's out for blood. But fortunately, your ally Azael, is that right, Clay?
Azael.
Azael. Yep. Azael gets to act next.
All right, I can't remember. Is there a charge action in 5th edition?
What I don't know if it's specifically a charge action, but what is it that you want to do specifically? Like, are you trying to gain some sort of advantage, or?
If there's advantage to be had, I'd love to have that. If not, I'm just gonna, charge forward and stab him in the heart with truth.
Yeah. No, that totally works. I mean, you could take dash, but if you take dash, I don't believe you can take another attack action.
Yeah, the only way that there's really a charge attack in 5th is if you have the charger feat.
Right. But remember too that you guys can fly if you need to. And I think you guys have a 60-foot fly speed?
You said 90.
90 foot, yeah. So there you go. But that's cool. So you charge at him with your weapon. With truth?
Yes, weapon
Excellent.
forward, striking, and 22 to hit.
Yep, absolutely. You hit him.
All right. Oh goodness, I don't have enough gates.
Yeah. I know, right?
Okay, so half the
80
aid that
damage.
you're using them.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, if I forgot to mention, I'm charging one of the ones that was not hit, because they're going to be taken down quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
30 damage.
Wow, nice. Yeah, you definitely you hit him good. What describe to me what that looks like when you hit him, because you have a spear, right?
Yes, I do.
Nice.
Do I kill him?
No, you don't. But
No.
almost. You've significantly damaged him.
I strike him. My aim was just slightly off, and I missed his heart, but I hit him in the center of the chest, and kind of beams of white light are coming out from his eyes and his mouth as he screams.
Nice. Absolutely. Yeah, and as your blade, or sorry, as the spear blade, pierces into him, for a minute there's almost like this silent concussive force and this blast of white radiant light, that and you can see this black, like sort of Icarus blood just oozing out of the wound, and for a minute it's running down the blade of your spear, but then it almost like dissipates into smoke, like it was burned off of your spear, like your spear was almost incensed that it had this demon blood running down it. So.
And then at that point, I take my second attack.
Yep.
14 to hit with my second attack.
You are not successful in hitting with your second attack. In his rage, he sort of almost stumbled out of the way from your first attack, and it makes it so that your slash with your sword just goes wide, so you just miss. But now, in their rage, they get to take their actions. So, the first one we've got. Oh, and Clay, what was your AC?
My AC is 16 right now.
16, cool. And Josh, what was your AC again? I think you're muted here.
Yeah, my AC is an 18.
Okay, awesome. All right, so let's see. They're all going to attack. So what do we got? Ooh, so the first one, as it attempts to attack Bellaris, miserably fails. Because you shot at it from a distance, it goes to hurl this flame at you that it manifested in its hand, and as the flame is manifesting in its hand, that's when it gets hit with Victor's attack, or with Xavier's attack, and it dissipates in its hand. It just is like, dissipates. And what's going to happen now is it's temporarily sort of blinded. So any attacks that you guys make against this one on the next round, you'll have advantage.
Is it within 5 feet of me?
Yes. Well, yes, because you engaged with your sword. So yes, it would be within 5 feet of you.
I took the Sentinel feat, and he attacked one of my allies. So I'm going to use my reaction to hit him with an attack of opportunity.
All right.
Oh, it's a good thing I have advantage.
Mhm.
Okay, well over 20.
Yep, you hit.
Like 35? No, 34.
Oh my god, yeah, you just completely obliterate him. Go ahead and describe how that works.
As it fizzles in his hand and he kind of is blinded for a moment, he staggers back and runs directly into the backswing from my missed swing on his buddy, and basically impales himself on Emitai.
Nice. No, that's great. Well, yeah, and as you again, as you deal, the damage to him on your sentinel attack there, with your blinding speed, you can see the flare of of that white radiant light again, and he just bursts into nothingness. He just, leaves existence essentially. So, yeah, so that's great. So you're good. The rest of them are unsuccessful in hitting. They are attempting to launch fireballs at you, but between a combination of you guys being extremely quick and agile and knowing, how these guys fight, they don't manage to hit you. So we've got Victor up last.
Alrighty. Slowly but surely. My character is going to have his arms not outstretched, down at his sides a little bit. In his left hand, there's a warhammer. In his right hand, it looks like it's just a stick at the moment, but then all of a sudden he just kind of lifts up in the air, probably about 3 feet off the ground, and he's just kind of hovering there for a second, and then he slowly starts to move forward. Or not slowly, but he moves forward.
Nice.
And then all of a sudden in his right hand, a lightning bolt literally strikes down at where his hand is, and then now there's just a whip of that is a lightning bolt. And I'm going to move up. You said they were 30 feet away, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to move up 20 feet, strike at one of the ones that were not engaged, or has not taken damage so far, and attempt to trip him, and then move up an additional 10 feet, and then hit with my warhammer.
Okay. Yeah. So if you want to trip him, then you will need to essentially make a grapple check. So what I'm going to have you do is roll your normal attack roll, like a melee attack roll. But instead of dealing damage, what you're going to try to do then is essentially use the grapple rules.
Okay. I got a 23.
Wow. Okay. So you go to, kind of fling your whip to sort of wrap it around one of his legs to trip him, and you see that it begins to wrap around, but then he, with, in unbelievably fast agility, kind of just jerks his leg out of the way, and manages to not be grappled by your whip. So.
Okay.
You can choose to deal damage, though, if you want with your whip, because you did hit him.
All right. And I'm going to do that, but also, I've seen how it kind of failed. I'm going to move in a little bit faster and just kind of swing with my warhammer anyways with my left hand. Do you want me to go ahead and roll the attack, or just give you damage for the whip and then do an additional attack?
Yeah, go ahead and roll the second attack. Yeah, first.
Okay. That's a natural 20.
Oh, yeah. All right. So you're going to crit on the second attack then. So go ahead and roll. So the way I'll do crits is you roll your damage, add any of your modifiers, and then double it.
Okay. Just to let you know, me being a Cleric of Tempest, anytime I do thunder or lightning damage, I can choose to spend one of my divinity, or not divinity, the Cleric Divinity points to maximize that damage. And I'm not going to do this here because that would just be a complete waste, I think, on a little peon, but just to kind of let you know.
Yep.
All right. First, I'm going to do the whip, which is 13 damage there.
Okay. And is that including radiant damage or no?
Yeah. Well, it's half. Yeah. I'm splitting the radiant between the two weapons, like you said to do before. So it's 2d8 one and then 2d8 from the other.
Alrighty. Yeah. Sounds good. So 13.
Okay. So you said to roll my damage and then add it all together and then double it?
Yep.
All right. $46.
46.
Mhm.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Why don't you describe the killing blow?
Okay. Um, the whip comes down, and like you said before, it wraps around his leg, but then just kind of slips off. And this kind of, well, you can't really see because of my helmet, but you just kind of hear this yell coming from my character, and he just kind of shoots forward and takes his hammer and just literally knocks the head off this thing, and it goes flying
Nice.
off.
Nice.
And then
And
I guess
go
as
ahead.
it flies off, it would turn into nothingness because, yeah, it goes back to the other plane.
Yep, yep, absolutely. Sweet. All right, so two down. As you guys kind of quickly look around, you'll notice that the orc and the two halflings seem to be having not a ton of trouble with theirs, and they've dispatched two of them, and now it's 3 against 1 with their devils. So,
Can I throw in my bonus action there?
yep, absolutely.
All right, I'm going to basically cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Okay.
When you looked at my character, he doesn't have any armor wearing, but every once in a while you could see like lightning kind of shoot across his body, and then he kind of lifts up his hand, and then he points it. He lifts up the warhammer and points it to the sky, and then kind of hits himself in the chest, not super hard, but when he does that, you will actually see more lightning visible, and it looks like a full plate or no, not full plate mail.
Plate mail, yep.
I forgot they changed it in this edition. It's not full plate anymore.
Right, right. That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
now my AC is going to be up at 21.
Okay, fantastic. All righty. So Victor has a 21 AC, and how long does that last?
10 minutes. That's
Okay.
part of the reason why I did it now.
Yep, gotcha. All righty.
Does Major Armor stack with normal armor, or is it an either or?
Major armor doesn't stack.
Right, no. Yeah,
But
major
it will
armor
stack.
is weird.
It will stack with other magical effects, though, like Shield of Faith or other things like that.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it basically it sort of like increases your dexterity modifier in a sense. It'd be like if you had a dexterity of like 13 or something.
I thought
don't know, Go ahead.
the way I thought it worked is it technically gives you an armor class of 13, and then you add your dex to it.
No, you're right. That's how it works. Which, I like the +4 from the old edition, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that plus shield. It was
Yeah,
pretty nice.
right. So we are back up to the top of the order. So Bellaris gets to go next. There are only 2 devils left. The one that Azael is engaged with is, I think, still technically alive. And then there's one more that hasn't been damaged. So there are 2 still left.
All right. At that point, you see Bellaris just sort of jump into the air, and these like 6 feathery wings pop out from the back, or like sort of materialize from the back of his bone armor, as he flies over behind the bone devils, engaged with his brother in arms, and he will let fly a flurry of attacks with the fangs of the Taker.
Awesome.
So here's his initial 2 attacks. Or, well, I guess I'll go ahead and I'm going to use the bonus action to make my offhand attack.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and was this on the undamaged one or the one that's currently engaged?
No, this is going to be on the undamaged one.
Okay.
So that's going to be 20, an 18, and a 24.
Oh yeah, you hit him.
All right.
On all of them.
So
I'm not. Well, yeah. Go ahead.
So it's gonna be 8, 10 to 20, 21, 31. So that's 40 damage total between the 3 attacks.
Awesome. You seriously hurt him. He is like staggering and he's almost dead. And go ahead and
Oh wait,
describe what your
I
attacks.
forgot.
Oh yeah.
One one extra necrotic damage from my divine strike.
Okay.
So 6 more damage. So 46 damage.
Oh my god, that's awesome. He is, yeah, no, he's got no immunities to that. All right, cool. So yeah, so then that kills him. That takes him out. So you manage to destroy him. So go ahead and kind of describe what that looks like for us.
So you see Bellaris like fly over this devil behind his back as he just inserts both of his swords into this devil's midsection, turns the blades, and then tears them apart, just literally cutting the creature in half. And as his body falls to the ground, it dematerializes back to the astral plane.
Nice. I'm going to say that it actually goes to the infernal plane because that would suck otherwise. But
Oh, right.
I was
Okay.
asking questions.
Sorry,
It's like,
infernal.
why is
My
it
bad.
going to our homeland?
but no,
Because he sent that thing's soul to Ouijas. That's why.
there you go.
Oh,
There you go.
okay.
In which case, it actually went to Acheron.
Nice. So yeah, so it's basically now 4-on-1. You guys are staring down this last devil, and he's he's got his blood up. He's ready for this fight. He's not super smart, so he's gonna stay engaged. And Xavier, you have the opportunity to see if you can kill him.
All right. Go ahead and fire off a shot. 15 plus 9, 25.
Yeah, you hit.
Points damage.
How much?
20.
Oh yeah, you kill him. Definitely. So you can go ahead and describe that.
Alright. Xavier goes a little off on the last one. It's about there, and you see a bolt of lightning just pierce right through the wound, just right next to the wound that had been made by the spear here, and just obliterate this thing's heart and leave this massive hole through its torso where the heart should have been.
Nice. That's great.
May I try and take a shot at one of the ones of the orcs that are biting?
Yeah, yep, that's fine. There was only one left, and yeah, so if you want to do that, that's fine.
14.
You hit. You don't actually even have to roll damage. This one is hurt enough that you just kill it.
That one gets shot right between the eyes.
Awesome. And so, yeah, as the bolt goes right between his eyes and explodes his head in radiant light, and then the rest of his body disappears, you can see the halflings kind of slump on their mounts, just kind of in relief. Like, they are clearly exhausted, and you can see the orc chieftain just kind of lower his weapons a little bit, and he's sort of leaning on his saber-toothed tiger, which it's covered in black blood, as it was just, it had been engaged in the fight as well. And so they look to you and they say, "Much appreciated. Your skills are everything that that we've heard of, but you're gonna need them for what's coming up." He says, "We've heard rumors that that there's been some bad demon incursions in some places over the years, but I'll tell you, I've never heard of anything quite this bad. let's get into the village and we'll see what we can do. And so he leads you guys in. Are you gonna kind of enter on foot, or do you want to fly in, or how do you want to do that?
Bellaris would want to stealthily enter the town, probably fly to the first rooftop that he could, and then move along the rooftops to have a good vantage point.
Absolutely.
Would you like me to roll stealth?
No,
Or
it's
not necessary? Okay,
No.
cool.
So yeah, you guys. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna kind of like do the same thing what I did before and just kind of hover off the ground like 3 feet and just kind of follow in behind the chieftain.
Awesome. Yeah, so you do that.
I'll just walk in alongside the chieftain, and for right now, I look exactly like an orc.
Okay, nice. So mimicking what that looks like. Cool.
I'm going to be flying alongside one of the halflings.
All right, awesome. Yeah, so you guys go and you get right to the edge of the village, and you notice that, like I mentioned before, there are a few stone buildings. Bellaris, you managed to land on the roof of one that has, it's a tiled roof, and as you kind of touch down, you feel it shake a little bit. It seems like the foundation might not be super sturdy, but it holds. And from your vantage point, you're able to see this just massive demon, and I'm going to show you what it looks like here. I think you guys can see that, right? You guys have never.
I wish I didn't.
Yeah. It's this massive hulking beast with 4 arms, with lava and or magma just kind of showing through the cracks, and out of its eyes and its mouth it's just this horrific like flame, kind of engulfing it, and you can see steam coming off of it, and like that little like rippling, like when you're in front of a really hot fire and it's almost like the air feels like it's on fire. And you see it with 2 of its arms kind of put them together, and then in between them materializes this fireball, mixed with like this magma kind of rock, and it then takes one of those arms and reaches back and just hurls it at a contingent of orcs and barbarians that are trying to kind of fight off these other demons that you guys fought before, the devils. And some of them notice it and manage to leap out of the way, as this lava fireball kind of just crashes down in the center of the village and throws its contents everywhere, catching more buildings on fire, completely destroying some of the fighters, and then you see this massive colossus just take several steps as it kind of notices you guys, and then it just sort of stands there. And as 2 kind of halflings are running, or they're sort of circling around it, kind of like pelting it with crossbows. They know that you can tell they know it's not dealing any damage, but they're trying to keep it somewhat distracted. And off to the edge of the village, you see in one of the larger stone buildings, the whole front of the building has basically collapsed in. So it's this big gaping hole with all this rubble. The rest of the structure is standing, but you basically see the women and children kind of all huddling in there with a small contingent of warriors there standing, trying to give them whatever cover they can, waiting for an opportunity to get them out of there. So, what do you guys want to do?
Did you say all of us see this, or just Josh's character?
Yeah,
okay.
You guys, because he's so big and the village is spread out enough, you can all see it.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna kind of spew out a Lord of the Rings quote, but it's fine.
You can.
Well, it doesn't really work now that because all of us can see it.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't really work.
So, do you guys want to stick with initiative order from the last time, or do you want to re-roll?
I want to reroll no offense, because I got
that's
a 2.
cool. Yep.
Yeah, I'm fine with reroll. I'll probably
Yeah.
get worse, but it's fine.
That's all right. Let's do it. And yeah, if you can post it in the chat, that'd be great.
Boom. Not much worse.
Okay, so we're already like initiative.
Well, I'm gonna have you roll initiative right now. You don't have to engage immediately, but
Okay, at least it's better than a 2.
nice.
I rolled the same number.
Still going tomorrow.
Awesome.
What's the weather like right now, Josh? Or not Josh? Sorry, Sam.
The weather, there's no rain clouds or anything like that. It's just all you can feel is heat. The whole place is on fire. There's like ash and smoke everywhere. If it wasn't for your divine senses, you would have a hard time really being able to do much. But no, so that's the weather at this point. And you can see storm clouds starting to kind of brew in the distance. But right now, that's what we're looking at.
Okay, and is there a massive body of water nearby, or?
Not a massive body of water. I mean, there's a pond, and I'll say you can sense there's a small underground lake.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, Clay, what was your initiative again?
10.
10. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, nice. All right. So, the way we're going to do this, Bellaris seems to be super speedy and gets to act first.
Oh, how to go about this?
All right, well, while you're thinking of that, does anyone know off the top of their head how temporary hit points work? I'm looking through the book and I can't
it's like a damage buffer. They get eaten up first, and
Okay.
then damage goes to your HP.
How long do they last?
It depends on what the source of it is. If you're talking about the ones from when you kill a creature from a warlock, that just lasts until they get eaten up. If you're talking about from whatchamacallit, False Life, I think that's like 8 hours, or until they get eaten up, whichever happens first.
All right. Yeah, I'm talking about the ones from slaying as a warlock.
Yeah. No, those just stick around until they get chewed through.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's basically the only way that you can actually like play a warlock as anything even close to like a beat stick.
Right.
Otherwise, you're just too squishy.
I know. I was surprised when everybody was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna have this this melee fighting warlock." I'm like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, cool."
Yeah, that's why I wanted to try it in that giant game that you ran. Okay, sorry, that's totally off topic.
Cool.
All
it's
right.
all good. So yeah, you're currently standing on top of the building.
Yeah, Bellaris will just take to the air, making very sure that the creature can see him. And the first thing that he is going to do is cast Shield of Faith on himself, and just basically say to the creature, "We have come for your life. Surrender it now, or we will take it with force."
All right. And as you're kind of saying that across the distance, and because you guys have telepathy, you can also sort of, I'll say at the same time, you can mentally project that image as well. And back at, in your mind comes this, you can clearly tell this is an intelligent being, which makes it even scarier. And Xavier, you are highly intrigued by this thing because this is something that you have only seen, or not even seen, you've only heard of once, and it was in a tome that was so rare and so secret that before you were called into action, you actually had a memory charm on you that would prevent you from revealing any knowledge of this creature. And it was only known as a lava colossus because nobody knew what it was. It had never been seen before. So you're that's going through your head as this is happening. But yeah, it responds back to you, Bellaris, with just this infernal cackle. Like it's gleeful that it gets to kill you. Like you get the impression that that's all it wants to do is just slaughter. And unless you have another action,
No, nothing as a bonus action. So it's
okay. Gotcha.
Moving action.
Nice. So you're hovering up in the air, and then you cast the shield spell. So
yeah,
what is
Shield
your
of Faith? So that makes my AC a 20.
20? Okay.
Not as good as a 21.
That's
Yeah,
true.
but I didn't have to take fighter levels to get mine.
I didn't either. What protection?
Oh, snap.
Or two-weapon fighting.
Yeah, I got the 2-weapon fighting.
Oh,
what
okay.
I picked.
Okay, I figured you had the protection fighting style from fighter.
No,
So
I actually had
actually up next in the initiative order.
What was that?
Oh, sorry, Xavier's up next in the initiative order.
Xavier, having never seen one of these things, is actually very curious. He wants incredibly to just like not have this thing body disappear. Everyone would clearly kill it so that he can examine it more thoroughly. But knowing that it's probably not going to happen, there's only one way to find out where this thing's weak spots are, and that's through good old-fashioned trial and error. So he's just going to start poking at it.
All right. Sounds good to me. How I forget. Are all three of you, with the exception of Bellaris, on the ground right now? Yep. Okay.
I'm technically close to the ground. I was flying. How tall is
This
this thing?
thing is huge. So it is probably 20 to 25 feet tall. Probably 15 feet in diameter. It's massive. This thing is enormous. And so you said you're hovering just slightly off the ground?
Yeah, I'm gonna like fly up and around torso range.
Okay.
And start shooting at some of the common weaker areas things have.
Okay.
First shot's 17 plus 9, 26.
Yep, you hit.
And second shot, 18 to hit.
18 to hit. That also hits. So I'm going to put this baby back up.
First shot. And on the second shot, 25 total.
Okay, so you said 25 damage total?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So as you fire with, your bolts, you can see they streak towards them, and it's almost like this magnetic pull right to his face, and they enter his eye sockets, and you can see this burst of white light as the radiant damage, as well as the normal damage kind of hits him. And you can see him kind of rear his head a little bit, as clearly he was injured by it, but he quickly shakes it off, and then he looks in your direction. And did you have another action or anything that you wanted to take?
I'm not sure how the whole two weapon thing works as far as bonus actions go.
What did you have like a bonus feat or whatever that allows you to take another action?
I just don't know how that works in general with two-weapon fighting.
Oh, well, so with two-weapon fighting, you basically get one additional attack, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you just don't add the proficiency bonus to the attack unless you have a feat.
No, you add it to the attack roll. You just don't get your stat modifier on your damage unless you have the two-weapon fighting style.
Okay, cool. So you took your two normal attacks basically?
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, if you wanted to, you could take an additional attack because you have your two-weapon fighting, or because you have two weapons. Did you take the two-weapon fighting?
No.
Okay, gotcha. But you can't deal an additional amount of radiant damage. You've already expended your radiant damage.
Yep. The 22 to hit.
Yes.
Then you said no radiant, no stat bonus.
Right.
So 2 extra.
How much? I'm sorry. How much was it?
2.
2? Okay. Yep. As it sort of embeds into one of his massive magma pecs, and just kind of sticks there, and he almost doesn't even seem to notice the second, or the bonus attack there. But this time he kind of, you can see him do what he did before, where he kind of puts two of his arms together and starts building this big fireball with that, and he actually will take that and he's going to throw it right at Bellaris. Oh, and he definitely hits. This is going to hurt. Let's see. I'm going to roll on here. So Bellaris, you are going to get 2. Oh, I think I rolled d20s by accident. Let me try that again. That's a little scary. There we go. 22 plus... Ooh, yeah, alright. So you get 22 damage as he hurls this massive fireball at you. And it hits you. You manage to stay flying, but it definitely hurts. And then you see him attempt to do the same thing to you, Xavier, but as he throws the fireball at you, it kind of go with his other 2 arms. He materialized these, and he goes to throw those at you, and you manage to leap out of the way as it goes just wide of its mark, and you see it kind of hit the ground behind you. And actually, there were some halfling warriors that were fleeing, and it kind of hits them as well as some demons in there, and destroys them. So, and then he lets out this roar. He's really pissed, and but that's the end of his turn. So, Azael gets to go next.
All right. Well, I'm guessing he's a little too far away for me to run up and melee him, right?
No, to run up and melee him, yes. If you were to fly over, you could hit him.
Okay. So I am going to drop my disguise as an orc and leap forward on my wings, but I'm not actually going to attack him.
Okay.
I'm just going to kind of fly up in his face and hopefully distract him. And as I fly forward, I lift up a bottle of holy water, muttering in Celestial, and I cast protection from evil on myself, specifically fiends.
Okay. And what does that do? Does that give you advantage
So that
on?
means that he has disadvantage to attack me. Any fiend has disadvantage to attack me.
Okay.
I also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them, but I think I'm already immune to all those.
Yep. Okay.
And I have advantage on any new saving throws against effects they throw at me.
Okay. And so when you go up to distract him, how close do you get to him? Are you like right up in his face?
I'd say I'm like just outside of easy striking distance.
Okay.
So just
All
a
right.
little bit out of his arm's reach.
Okay. Yeah, that works. Great. And then are you going to end your turn there?
I'm gonna end my turn there. Yeah, that's what I got.
Okay. So we got Victor up next.
Alrighty. How far away is he from this the pond?
Well, so it's an underground pond.
Okay.
So it's hard to tell. I mean, the water is fairly far down. But it's underground. Yeah.
I was thinking, because I have the spell, control water, and one of the, things that I could do is basically flood, and I could flood it for 20 feet, and it's just like, we're not really here for the townspeople. We're here to kill this thing, and so I could just flood the whole city for 20 feet high with all this water. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. No, I'm
Okay.
just, that's just one of the things that was kind of boiling in my head. That's the whole reason why I was asking all those questions about the water.
I mean, I would allow that if you wanted to do that. That would be kind of cool. So yeah, you could definitely try that if you want.
Well, I'm pretty sure at this point the women and children haven't made it out of the city, correct?
Yeah, not yet. No.
Okay, yeah. I might hold off on it then.
All right.
Instead, I'm going to put both my hands up in the air and speak in, we'll say Draconic, just because Draconic is cool. A few words up to chord, yeah. And let's see. I'm not trying to make a storm basically, but the clouds kind of darken up above this creature. Oh, wait, first, how far away is he from me?
He's probably about 40 feet.
Okay. All right, that's fine. And okay, hang on. This is a 20-foot radius. I'm going to put this. The center of it is going to be 10 feet behind him, so it will still catch the monster, but not catch any of my teammates in this 20-foot radius.
Okay.
And okay, and then going back to the whole description, the clouds kind of start to darken, and then all of a sudden, these huge shards of ice just come falling down from the sky and hit this massive. Well, I say hit the massive creature. It flies towards the massive creature, and he needs to make a dex save, please.
All right. What does he need? No. He rolls an 8. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he takes 2d8 bludgeoning damage, which is a 3, and then he takes 46 cold damage.
Okay.
So that was cocked, so that's 12.
Okay.
That was a little disappointing.
That's all right, though. Yeah, you definitely manage. You see him pretty much shrug off the bludgeoning damage, but the cold damage does seem to affect him. You notice, and it kind of, as it hits his body, you actually see kind of the glowing embers underneath in that particular spot kind of diminish a little bit. And it almost looks like like what frostburn would look like. He's got this like little frostburn section on his torso. So that was awesome. Good job. So he, as as you kind of quickly just are aware of your surroundings because of your heightened senses, you can tell that the city's getting worse. That him throwing those fireballs, fire is now starting to make its way, kind of off the buildings and into the green, and things are starting to get desperate. And as you look, it appears that for now the villagers seem to think that they seem to be not in danger of this fire, but you can tell that if it goes too much longer, they might be in trouble. So.
Okay. By the way, because of ice storm, everything in that 20-foot radius, it's difficult terrain. I'm pretty sure that's not going to affect this creature because he's a huge, but it's all difficult terrain until my next turn.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. And he lets out a bellow as he notices Belarus starting to ready for his next action. And you can see that kind of fire kind of spits from his mouth just a little bit. And he kind of flexes a little bit like he's anticipating an attack. And in your mind, you get this. It's basically just like, bring it.
All right. So with that, Belarus will just dart directly towards the creature, as if he's going to charge in and attack, and he's going to stop short 30 feet and throw both swords immediately as he stops at the creature. And as he does, you see him just open up his hands like that, and both swords split into just this mass of tiny black shards and fly directly into the creature's eyes. He needs to make a Constitution save versus the spell Blindness.
Cool. And what's the DC?
DC will be 16.
He makes it.
Sad for me.
Blinded. Yep.
All right, and that's my action.
Okay, great. So yeah, as you're standing, or you're flying outside of his sort of radius there, yeah, and you cast the spell, and you see for a minute the sort of holes where his eye sockets are. The fire diminishes temporarily, like it's just black, and then all of a sudden it lights back, comes back into existence. And where the fire was this sort of orange light, now it's like this blue hot flame. Like it's it's bad. But the nice thing is that Xavier gets to go next.
Right. All right. So Xavier's going to try and take a couple shots at the frostburn spot, and he gets it, and 20 damage with the first shot, and 12 damage with the second shot.
Nice. Yeah, and I mean he's definitely hurt. Go ahead and describe what that looks like.
So he flies his around to the spot, so you get an angle on the spot that has got frostburn. And as he's just kind of flying around and trying to examine this thing as best he can, kind of taking mental notes of the thing's physical anatomy and how it's reacting to the different attacks, so that he can write it down later. And he decides to take a couple of those shots at one of the spots that's been hit by this ice attack, to see how it reacts to see if it's harder or softer, and just kind of get an idea of how the body changes.
Yeah, yeah, and you notice that as your attacks are hitting, you can tell that the mundane damage that your weapon deals has not much of an effect on him, but the radiant damage certainly is hurting him, and that's the point. That's why you guys have these magical weapons. But you do notice that as the cold damage was hitting him, the sort of glowing embers underneath him would either go out, or if there was like a little gap, it was almost like this ice would kind of freeze over that gap, and it stayed there. Because it's magical, it doesn't dissipate like you would expect normal ice to do. And so as you puncture those spots with your magical bolts, you can see the flame again inside of him, but you can see these pieces of his body just falling off. And before they hit the ground, similar to what happened with the devils before, you see their bodies dissipate. The other thing I forgot to mention to you guys is when those pieces are dissipating, whoever is dealing the killing blow, you'll notice that they get sucked into your soul crystals. Not whoever deals the killing blow, but as you're dealing damage, they're getting sucked into your soul crystal, as opposed to, So when you said he returned to the infernal plane, he actually doesn't. They went into your soul crystal, and that's the purpose of those soul crystals, is to prevent these demons from returning to their plane, where they could then just come back. So forgot to mention that.
So is there a point at which the soul crystals are like full?
You know what? I'm actually going to allow Xavier to answer that, because as his character, that is something that he would know. So I'm going to give that to you if you want, and you can answer that.
Well, for you guys, there's not a real known limit. You've slaughtered hundreds of these minor creatures before, but and your crystal's never filled, so that's right, you can tell. But there is a theoretical limit, as the stronger the creature is, the more it takes to confine the thing soul. So it's theorized that one of these gems could trap the soul of one of the rulers of the nine hells, but nothing else. So it's a theoretical limit. It's never been tested, because nobody's ever been able to get to take out one of the leaders of one of the nine hells. So,
yeah. And you will get to test it today, because this is a demon, like I said, that no one has ever seen enter the material plane before. This is a nasty demon. And so you have also heard rumors that the more powerful the demon that is trapped within that, the tougher it can be if you have prolonged exposure to that demon. But there are also ways of emptying your soul crystal, and in the astral plane there are essentially massive soul crystals that you can use to sort of, in a sense, sort of empty into those to hold on to them. So again, it's never been fully tested especially with a powerful demon, but yeah. And to punctuate that point, the demon is going to come over and attack, and he's going for Belarus, and he's not going to bother throwing shit at you this time. He's just coming for you with all four of his arms, and he's going to see if he can hit you.
Awesome.
So at this point, you said you have was it a 19?
20. No, 20 AC.
Okay. Awesome.
Does he have to move past me in order to attack?
Yes, because you're right up in his grill, right? Except that
I'm right up there in his face, so he has to move past me. So
yeah.
as he goes past, I'm gonna swipe at him, and Yeah, that's a natural 1.
Oh
Awesome.
God.
So you actually, as you go to swipe at him, you get in close to him. And what ends up happening is, as you get within 5 feet of his body, you feel this intense heat and this flame, and you end up taking 12 points of damage as this heat just kind of radiates from him and starts to burn your flesh a little bit. But because he's not too concerned with you right now, he's focused on the source of the most damage that he's taken. He leaves you alone. So he leaves your, you're outside of that 5 foot radius essentially. So let's see. So he's got to hit a 20, huh?
The most damage that he's taken. He hasn't taken any from me.
Oh, has he not? Oh, maybe not. Well, either way, he doesn't like you. So
That's
he's
fine. Oh, I got critted. Oh man.
Yep. Well, fortunately, he only hits you with 2 attacks. The first one, yeah, wow. Ooh, this is gonna hurt.
Yeah, dude.
All right.
It's gonna be brutal.
Yep. So let's see what we've got. All right. So you take 23 damage on the first attack as he just whacks you hard with one of his massive massive fists. And before you can, it would normally propel you backwards, but before that happens, with his second attack, he kind of grabs you in a sense, and this one's gonna really hurt. You know what? I'm just gonna roll that. So I'm not gonna double it on this because I'll just roll twice.
You're gonna die, my friend. You're gonna die.
Yeah.
Better pull out them healing spells.
I think that's
Yeah, I don't actually have any of those.
44.
Yeah.
So 44 points of damage. I think you guys, didn't I post in the description that you have the ability to heal 20
Yes, you
points
did.
Correct.
of damage? Yeah. So you can at least use that if you need to.
Yeah.
Do you have the ability to basically absorb
And
necrotic damage?
what type of damage is he dealing? Question.
He's actually dealing a combination of bludgeoning and fire damage.
Okay, so how much is bludgeoning and how much is fire? And
It's
is
half
it all
and half,
considered?
so
Is it all considered magical?
yes.
Okay. All right. Well, then in that case.
Yep. Yeah, his weapons or his fists are considered magical weapons. He does do half and half, but
Our healing touch ability does not dictate whether it is an action or a bonus action. So I don't care which, but so I know going forward which one is it.
yeah,
Hopefully
you'll
it's a
be able to
reaction.
use it as
Reaction. Yeah, right. I heal 20. No.
no, you do have to use it on your turn, but you can use it as a bonus action.
Oh, neat. Okay, that's fun.
But I also need you to make either an athletics or acrobatics check because he's essentially trying to hold on to you with his fist.
Oh, okay.
So if you can
What
escape
a
it.
jerk.
Yeah. And you know.
All right. 14, probably not.
No. So he's got you grappled. So what that means is next turn, if you're unable, next turn, at the beginning of the next turn, you're going to take 3d6 fire damage from his fire aura.
Okay.
Boom. All right. But now your friend Azael gets to go and hopefully not die. Well, I don't think he'll die. But.
Well, thanks to killing one of the minor demons, I'm only slightly singed.
Nice.
I will leap forward and strike at him with my... I am retiring this die. That's another nat 1.
Oh,
Good
yes.
Lord.
Ouch. Okay. Well, I'll describe the result of that afterwards. But you get multiple attacks, right?
Yeah, I'll do my second attack.
All
And
right.
that one's a nat 20.
Well,
Oh,
there you
oh.
go. It balances out.
So yeah, I'm gonna say then in this case that those cancel out. Now again, did you enter melee range with him?
Yeah, I flew forward to melee range.
Okay, so you'll get to experience his fire aura again. Congratulations.
Woohoo!
So 10 damage as you come in. But yes, you are able to hit him on the second attack. And I'm going to say that it negates the critical failure on the first attack
So it's just
because
a
you
normal
crit.
hit.
So yeah. So in this case, I'm not going to have you roll the crit damage. It'll just make it so you don't have a horrible consequence.
All right. I need to check something.
As you guys look around too, you notice that that more and more of those minor devils started sort of popping into existence. And you see that actually the majority of the fighters at this point are the halflings. Most of them are riding those mastiffs, but some of them are on foot. And you remember when you first saw them, they had a slave brand on their forehead. So these are slave fighters that are controlled by the orcs. And Xavier, you heard a rumor as preparing, to come here, that this is a particularly brutal band of orcs, but this tribe of halflings is an equally brutal barbarian tribe. And what's interesting is their common enemy is the elves that live in the forest near the settlement. And so the rumor has been that as these halfling warriors are captured in battle, any women and children would be let go, but the warriors remain slaves. But because they're so renowned for their fighting ability, the orcs say, well, we essentially will not kill your family, we won't kill you, but you fight for us. So
All right. Well, I used one of my second level spells to use Divine Smite on him,
nice.
dealing 40 radiant damage and 8 piercing damage.
Whoa, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Are weapons magical as far as like is that piercing damage magical?
Yes.
You smash his big toe.
Yeah. So yeah. No, you dealt him some massive damage there. So go ahead and describe what it looks like as you deal all that damage.
Well, I dive through his flaming aura, so there's kind of licks of flame on my wings as I dive down and stab right into one of the cold chunks, and my spear of light just goes right through it, and you see kind of the embers of his flame dying out behind it as there's just kind of a great flash of light, and a bunch of his smoke just flies out past me. Almost like someone was boring into a glacier with a laser.
Nice, nice. Yeah, and as you pull your weapon out, again with it comes like this sort of jet of flame, and and you see this like magma blood almost kind of oozing out of his body and pooling on the ground around you. He lets out this horrible shriek, and he kind of takes this involuntary swipe at you, but it was almost more of a reflex move than anything else, and you're easily able to duck out of the way, but he's bellowing, and he's just angry, and he's baring these like stone teeth with like you've not seen him breathe fire, but man, if he could, he would love to because he is mad. But
his attention.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, man, if you had crit on that, that would have been insane. But now Victor gets to go.
Awesome. A lot of stuff's gonna happen in my turn, or I'm hoping a lot. First off, I'm gonna fly up into the air. I'm gonna say about 50 feet, just so I'm. Well, no, he's what 25 feet. You said tall.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go up 40.
Okay.
And first off, where's that storm cloud that you said was in the distance? Is it still far away?
How far do you need it to, or how close do you need it to be, essentially?
I'm not sure. Let me
I would say
scroll down
that
to.
if you were going to basically use it to sort of add elemental damage to some of your attacks, at
It just
this,
says.
go
It just
ahead.
says if you're outdoors in stormy conditions when you cast a spell, it gives you control over the existing storm instead of creating a new one.
Yeah, okay. Well, no, in that case, I would say that, it is stormy conditions. Yeah. So I would say you
Okay.
can do that, definitely.
I'm going to basically outreach my hand to that storm cloud and kind of pull it over to where I need it to be, and summon a massive bolt of lightning down. But I want to target the arm that is holding my friend, but not necessarily, right at his wrist. But I want to kind of target like his elbow type of deal, so it's back far enough so it won't hit him or hurt him.
Okay.
And then also, while I'm doing that, actually, I need to double check and make sure this isn't a concentration. It is not. While that's happening, a massive warhammer comes flying down from the sky and hits his elbow at the exact same time. Me
Nice.
casting spiritual weapon as a bonus action.
All
So,
right.
what would you like to do first? The spiritual weapon or the call lightning?
Go ahead and do the call lightning first.
Okay, now I gotta scroll back down to the page, or back down the page and find the spell again. Alright, it is 4d10.
Okay.
Oh, he needs to make a dex save, by the way.
Okay, what does he need to make? The
Um,
DC.
a 16.
Yeah, he doesn't. So he
Sweet.
takes so he does 40-10?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh no, sorry, it's 5d10 because I am casting it as a 4th level spell, and then plus the 1d10 from it already being a storm condition out.
Gotcha.
Oh, actually, I don't need to roll this because I'm going to maximize it because I'm going to use up one of my divinity. So that is 50 damage.
50. All
Yeah.
right.
50 straight up there.
Yep.
And then for the spiritual weapon, I need to make a melee spell attack.
Okay.
That's cocked. And that fell off the table. Come on. 24.
Yep, that hits.
Okay, and that'll be 2d8. 8. Is it plus my spell ability? Yep, spell casting. Okay, so that's 16 damage from that, and it's force damage.
Okay. 16. Nice.
And then I'm going to action surge and do it all over again. So he needs to make.
So I don't know that does action surge allow you, because you're casting a spell, right?
Mhm. Action
Does action
surge
surge
allows
allow
me
you to
to
cast a
take
spell?
another action and a bonus
Okay.
action. So, I mean, if you want to rule it differently, I'm fine with that. But I just thought this was really cool. Me doing all this in one turn.
Yeah, the thing is, with like, spells are weird in the way that they work outside of cantrips. You know what though? Yeah, that's fine. We'll rule that. I mean, unless you guys know specifically differently.
The only thing that I've seen on it is that if you use Quicken Spell to cast a spell as a bonus action, the only other spells you can cast in a round are cantrips. But
Yeah.
getting extra spells from any other source, as far as I know, like Action Surge, technically with the way that it's written, as long as you didn't use a Quicken Spell to cast the spell as a bonus action, then it's still legit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
spiritual weapon is just a bonus action spell. So.
All right. Yeah.
He
Then we'll
needs.
go with that.
Yeah, he needs to make another dexterity save, please.
Oh my god, he fails again.
And I'm going to maximize that for another
Okay.
50 damage. And then I'm going to swing with the massive hammer again. And I'm pretty sure I missed with a 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yes, you
So
did.
I'm hoping at least he will let go of Josh's character.
Well, no, he doesn't.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
Sorry, Josh. I tried, man. I did over 100 points of damage.
So yeah, you did. Jeez, you actually between these lightning bolts and this massive damage, you've seen large chunks of his body just dissipating and the fire underneath disappearing, and it's all kind of streaking into your soul crystal as all of this is happening.
Okay.
And you can tell at this point one of his arms is basically shattered at the elbow, so he's not able to use it anymore. And he's just taken some severe damage.
Well, I was targeting the arm that was holding Josh, so...
Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, yeah, actually, in that case, he does drop Josh on the ground.
Okay.
Because you were grappled, your wings. He was holding your wings as well, so you do actually fall to the ground, but you don't take any damage from it.
That's cool.
Yeah, and
And
now
also,
that you're free from his grasp, you'll get to act on your turn.
Yeah, that's awesome for me.
I also want to kind of clarify, with the spiritual weapon, it doesn't actually make a massive hammer, but I was kind of describing it as it strikes. It turns into like a giant one and hits him, and then shrinks back down to a normal warhammer, and then as it strikes again, it goes bigger because I'm fighting, this huge monster, and so...
Yep. Cool. Yeah, no,
and
that works.
that's my go.
Awesome. All right, Bellaris, you are up.
All right. So at that point, okay. So at that point, Bellaris will attempt to. How close am I to this creature? I'm like within his reach, right?
Yeah, you're. Oh, actually, that's right. You're still within his radius, so you are gonna take the 3d6 still. Let me just roll that. 9 damage. So
How much?
9.
9. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So with that, Bellaris will strike at the creature with his sword, and he's making a single attack that is Vampiric Touch.
Yep.
All right, so I do hit. He is going to take... So I'm going to expend my use of Touch of Death with one of my channel divinities. So at that point, he is going to take 31 damage.
Nice.
And then I will attempt to fly backwards, and I want to attempt to try to basically fly back and hide behind one of the buildings in the area at that point. Yes, he would get an attack of opportunity against me when I disengage, or because I can't disengage.
Okay. And let me see. Now, because he has multi-attack, would he get to use all of his attacks essentially?
I think.
I don't remember how that works.
I think opportunity attacks are described as a single attack. I don't think you get to take multi-attack. You have to be able to take an attack action.
Right. Yep. Okay. No, and he does take a swipe at you with one of his claws, but he misses as you as you disengage from him. And as you did your attack, you severed another one of his arms. So he basically only has 2 arms left at this point. He's pretty worse for wear at this point.
Nice.
And you managed to avoid an attack and go and hide behind a building.
You want me to make a stealth check?
No.
Or no? Okay.
No,
Sweet.
not necessary. Not yet, anyway. I'll tell you if you need to.
Okay, cool. No worries.
Yeah. And you notice that fire is getting near him, and he is able to. You kind of see as the fire is creeping in from the fires that he set all around him. Some of it has actually touched his body, and you see him absorb it, and it almost looks like it has a healing effect on him. And what he does is he actually goes over and to one of it's actually a group of buildings at this point that are on fire, and he makes an attempt to go in there. So I think
As he walks away,
if you have an attack of opportunity, you can.
I'm not sure. Would the Sentinel weapon be able to strike, or is he only be able to, like, the only reason why he's getting an attack is because of the Sentinel feat, right?
because of the Sentinel feat, I ignore people disengaging.
Right.
Well, he's not trying to
He's not
disengage.
even
He's just moving away.
disengaging. He's moving out of his. He's trying to move essentially. Yeah, and so you would get your.
Regardless, he's moving out of my reach, and I get an attack.
Yep.
So
I
wouldn't
get hit.
A
spiritual
magical
be one
weapon
too?
would not. No.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think it's 27.
27. Oh, 27 damage.
Yep.
Okay. You manage to deal what looks to be a killing blow. And as he falls and he stumbles and he kind of crashes down into the buildings and whatever, and he's just decimating the town, you see that as he does that, he actually does absorb some of the fire damage or the fire that was there, and it consumes him, and it's enough to keep him alive. But it is Xavier's initiative order, so this guy is almost dead. And Xavier, you get to make your attack.
Right. Crit.
Oh my gosh. I'm not even going to make you roll for damage. You can describe how you destroy him.
As this guy falls over, a wound had opened up, and there was this glowing thing, like white stone that could be seen inside. And it seemed to dim a little, but then all the fire just rushed to that stone, and the creature started to get back up, and Xavier just reaches out and aims right for the stone with his revolver, and fires a bolt right in there, and it shatters the stone into pieces. And the creature lets out a roar, and the body just slumps and fades and moves into this ether and flows into your crystals.
Awesome. And before that happens, as he hits the ground, his body actually, because that will happen, but his body will actually explode. And I need you all to make a dexterity saving throw for me, DC 17.
Even the one of us behind the building? If so, that's fine. I'm just asking.
No, the one behind the building. Yes, actually, but roll with advantage.
Okay.
I'm 50 feet away from him up in the air. Do I still need to, or?
Yep.
Okay.
Ugh. Yeah, Advantage apparently doesn't like me very much today.
Not on Dice Stream. Dice Stream.
Dice Stream says I get a 9.
Yep.
I'm gonna be sad if that's what kills me.
Right.
Like I managed to like vampiric striking, get enough HP to get away, and then I die from that. That'd be hilarious.
I don't know. I'm gonna be disappointed if nobody dies. I'm gonna be honest.
I think if that's your damage roll, I'm pretty sure I'm dead.
Do you want us to put in chat what we rolled, or just
basically, if you got a 17 or higher, then you succeed. If you got lower, then you can just tell me if you succeeded or failed.
I failed.
Succeeded.
So we only had one person that succeeded? Is that right? Oh my god. Alright, well, so anyone who succeeded, you only take 20 points of damage. Everyone else takes 40 as the body explodes, and as a final action, and it's almost like they were magically targeted, like these balls of fire and magma come like streaking at you like you're a magnet almost. For Bellaris, they actually go and they puncture through the building, and you don't actually take all that damage from these, but it brings the building down on you, and so as you are sort of scrambling out of the way, the combination of the building coming down and this damage hitting you, does that. So
I honestly, like, as it does, like, as Bellaris hears the explosion and can like sees the building starting to like topple and sees the fire coming directly at him, he just sheaths his swords and like banishes his wings and just drops to his knees and like lets the like building and the flames wash over him.
Nice. That's awesome.
Oh, when you hit, you should have used your bonus action to do healing touch on yourself.
Yeah, that's true. That is what I should have done, but I feel like him actually dying here would kind of make sense. Like, he doesn't really want to work for Wee Joss. It's like, if death's coming, then death's coming. Like, he might make his death saves, though, in which case he climbs out of the rubble.
Well,
I'm going to immediately fly over and cast Spare the Dying.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, you guys can use the magical healing abilities that you have on each other should you need to.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and heal him for 20. I'm going to do Spare the Dying and then heal him for 20.
Are you gonna pull me out of the rubble of this building first? Because otherwise I feel like it's just going to continue. You're just going to leave me trapped there. Like, hey, live, but be trapped.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'm not that much of an ass. I'm not, evil. And of course, you guys can't see me. I did the little parentheses, or not parentheses, brackets.
Air quotes.
Yeah, air quotes. There we go. That's it. Yeah, I'm going to cast the spell first to Spare the Dying, and then pull him out, and then heal him. Because I don't think the adventure's over yet.
By the way, I know like we're past that point now, but I was totally wrong. I reread the thing. Anytime you cast any spell as a bonus action, all you can cast for the rest of the round are cantrips. So he still could have basically done what he did, with the exception of the spiritual weapon.
Okay.
Well, no, the spiritual weapon was the bonus action.
Right, which means if you cast spiritual weapon as a bonus action, you can't cast any other spells but cantrips in the round.
Okay.
So anytime you cast any spell as a bonus action, all your other spells have to be cantrips.
That sucks, because one of the combos for like a healing person or for a cleric is, Cure Light Wounds and Healing Word. You can cast them both in the same turn and, really buff somebody up in the hit points.
But you actually can't.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying it sucks.
So nice. So I think if you guys are up for it, let's take a quick 5-minute break, and then get some water, go to the bathroom, whatever. We'll come back, and then we'll wrap up the adventure.
Sweet.
But,
Alright.
yeah.
I think first order of business when we come back is going to be figuring out who spends what heals to get everyone up to full health.
Yep. Gotcha.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm already at full health. Except for that. I took 20. I'm sorry. From that explosion, I took 20.
Yep. Jeez, I know that freaking 100 damage round here was
Yeah.
stupid,
And he
know,
still
good.
would have taken all 100 of that. He just wouldn't have taken the spiritual weapon damage.
Yeah. So I was like, oh shit. Nice. Alrighty, I'll be back in just a sec.
Sweet.
Alright. That's going good so far. All those of you watching, hopefully the demon fight was fun here.
Dude, yeah, that was a cool fight.
Yeah, it was. Jesus, I couldn't believe. I mean, I could not believe 100 damage in one round. I was like, "Are you?" Or yeah, one
Dude,
round. I was like,
yeah.
"Are you freaking kidding me?"
I know. I like level 10 and beyond is like a whole different ball game. I've been dealing with the
Yeah.
same thing in like War of the Gods. I'm like, I kept looking at a lot of the creatures when I was setting up the stuff, and I was, looking at it, and I'm like, oh man, that's just so brutal. Like, I don't want to just destroy them,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's pretty crazy. Some of the stuff you can pull off. Although I now see why everybody loves Tempest Cleric.
Yeah. Right. I know, that's badass. It's crazy too, because I was, you guys were all pretty much up in the air, which I figured you would be. But I sort of custom did the monster here, and so I gave him Erupting Earth, which was one of the elemental evil spells.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, which I really wanted to use, but it's you choose a point on the ground, and it, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I kind of figured that there was something, like, I was like, okay, he put me on the ground. He wants me there for some reason. Like,
Yep. Oh yeah, no, it would have been fun. Well, and I was trying to decide when I was creating him whether I wanted to let him throw those fireballs with all four hands or not, but then I was like, oh god, that might just kill him too quick. So
Yeah, I mean, it definitely would have changed the dynamic of the fight. I feel like
Yeah. Yeah.
it would have been a much more like, all right, we gotta fight this out smart, like duck and cover between attacks sort of situation, rather than
Yeah.
bum rush the evil thing.
Well, and that was the thing because I was like, I put the fire aura damage in there, and so I was like, all right, if they get in close to him, they're gonna take that, and then he's gonna try to grapple him, and hold him
Mhm.
there. And so I was like, all right, get in, but then, he would have had the opportunity, but damn that, damn
100
that.
damage round, dude. Yeah, that's crazy.
Sorry, my bad. Didn't
No,
mean to break your monster.
dude, it
Actually,
was
I did mean to
awesome.
break your monster.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's not even as bad as was he immune? I know you said you custom did the monster. Was he immune to poison? Or was he
Yeah.
immune to? I'm sorry, immune to disease.
No, he was not immune to disease. He was
Oh.
only immune to fire.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, the really nasty thing. I didn't want to do it because it's so dirty. But you can cast contagion, and if
Yeah.
he fails the thing, then you choose which one is it? I think it's like worm rot or something like that. And it's basically like he slowly starts liquefying from the inside out or something ridiculous. And it basically means that every round he has to make a save with disadvantage or he can't do anything but take like a move action or something that round. Like he basically can't fight anymore.
Right.
It's just so awful.
I know Contagion is a stupid good spell. Like
Yeah.
it's just insane.
Yeah,
No, but
if you go on the like 5th edition forums and stuff, apparently
yeah,
they call it the legendary killer.
yeah.
Like
Oh, I know people hate it because they're like, this is way too overpowering. I'm like, dude, as far as I'm concerned, especially if you can roleplay the hell out of it, do it. Like that's the
right.
best. But no, that was cool. I'm liking the way this is going. I have actually not played 5th edition at high level yet, so it's good to see kind of what you can do. And I mean, granted,
Right.
I gave you guys some badass weapons and max hit points, so that's good.
No, yeah, you made us 10th level and you made us beasts.
Yep.
Like, I don't know if you actually made that thing like equivalent challenge rating for around 10th level, but if so, then yeah, no, there was no way we weren't toppling that at that point.
Oh no, I intended for you guys to beat it. I just wanted it to beat on you a little bit.
Yeah.
So
It definitely did
but,
that.
Yeah.
That 20 AC did not help.
Oh, I know. I couldn't believe it. Like I was just getting I got this this blue dice that is just magical.
Right.
Not when I'm a player, for some reason it betrays me then.
Yeah.
But when I'm DMing, it's like, so that's why I was kind of trying to use Dice Stream too, because when I used Dice Stream for the most part, it didn't do much.
I don't know. That's how you got that crit on me, like right off the bat, pretty much.
Yo, that's true. I was like, oh no.
I was like, oh, that's brutal.
Yo, I know. That was
amazing.
Insane.
It's amazing how fast like 100 hit points just goes.
Yep. Oh, I know. Well, because I was like, damn, I better give them max hit points just because I knew this guy could deal a lot of damage, but
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want him to go down that early. So.
No, I feel you. It was good though. That was cool. I liked that battle.
Cool.
Well,
Thanks.
and also like
I just wish my crit had gone through because I would have done 96 damage.
Good lord.
Yeah, I would have lost my freaking mind if you'd done 96 damage, and then the next round he takes 100 damage.
That's it. Like he doesn't even get a real round of attacks. It's just.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, that was,
Yeah. I'm just glad he didn't go last in the initiative order. That would have sucked. Nice. But all right, cool. Well, if you guys are ready, we'll finish up the adventure here. So as the lava colossus, explodes and deals all this damage to you guys, and takes the buildings down around him, basically leveling the town, and then almost as if nothing happened, all of those pieces of him do dissipate, and you can see these like streaks of like black shadow coming into the soul crystal, into Xavier's soul crystal. Because you killed him, the essence of his soul is in your soul crystal right now, and you because of your background and because of the scholarly nature of who you are, you can feel the beginnings of this mental struggle of that you can tell, like it's not like Diablo where you have to like stick that shit in your head or whatever, but you can feel this. Something is different. This demon was powerful and it's trying hard to get out of this crystal, and you don't have to make an active effort to stop it, but it's something that you haven't experienced before. And so that, and you're a little bit wary to dismiss your weapon and send it back to the astral plane without kind of mentioning that. Not that you'd want to do that right now anyway, hint, hint, but, And then, oh, go ahead.
Actually, my guy didn't want to keep it on him longer because of this, so that he could actually make notes of the feelings and write them down, so that he can make reports of this.
Yep. Awesome. And so, as you guys are kind of recovering, and if you want to do some healing, we can do that in a second. But Garlac Sabretooth comes up to you, and he's on foot. You see that his saber-toothed tiger mount, is dead, covered under rubble. He is bloody and bruised, and he's basically down to holding just this jagged knife that he's got. His other arm seems to be hanging limp at his side, like it's a broken arm, and his two halfling companions are nowhere to be found. But he comes up to you and he looks at you guys and he says, "You did well. Thank you for saving us. We'll be able to get the women and children out, but I'm afraid our fight's not over yet." And he kind of staggers for a minute, and then he says, This demon, it came in through a portal somewhere over to a cave, to the cave in the in the mountains, and we got to figure out how to close it. Otherwise, more demons will be able to come through. He says, I can show you the way. And so if you guys want to sort of figure out how you're going to heal each other, that's fine.
As the orc starts to stagger, I kind of just like pat him on the shoulder, and he heals 5 hit points and just kind of starts feeling a little bit better.
All right, nice. Cool. Yeah, and he kind of takes the healing and he's like, "Oh, thank you. It's much appreciated." And you see his arm isn't broken anymore. He can move it, and he kind of tests it out a little bit. But he's only got this one little blade.
Have faith, my friend. Have faith.
Nice. And yeah, so how do you guys want to deal with healing?
I'm just gonna burn all 3 of my healing touches.
Before you do that, what were your hit points at?
I was dead. I mean, when the building collapsed on me and I got hit by the fireball. So then Chester's character Victor hit me for 20 heal. Okay. So I was literally at 20.
Oh, okay, nice. So yeah, you made it down to 0. All right, cool. So
yeah, no, I mean I was at 33 hit points when only because of the vampiric touch when I got hit with the 40 damage from the fireball.
Nice. Yep. Dropped you.
I'm gonna burn the rest of my 2 healing touches to heal myself back up to full.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna burn all 3 of them to heal myself.
Cool.
And I'll also cast False Life as a 4th level spell on myself, so that'll give me 21 temporary hit points.
All right, sweet. 21. I like it.
Maybe you should have done that before we started fighting, and then you wouldn't have died, maybe.
Well, he didn't technically die. 'Cause, you know, the
Definitely
divine
went
right of
unconscious.
your deity.
Not talking.
Yeah. He did become almost dead. What was it in?
Only
What's that
mostly
movie?
dead.
Yeah,
Only
mostly
needs
dead,
small
yeah.
medical.
Yeah.
It's only a
no,
flesh wound.
yeah. It's like, what? Your arm's off. No, it isn't. So Garlac leads you guys off to the cave, and as he's leading you there, he says, you know, the rumors were that he came from here. At least that's where we saw him coming from. It's like, which I don't know if it's coincidence or not, but this was where we housed our temple to Grumsh, and in there we had a holy artifact. I can only hope that it's still there, but I'm going to need your help to find it and recover it. And so you guys make it there, and you guys are at the entrance to the cave, and he says, being that there's a portal here, I don't know how we should proceed. I suspect we should go with caution. We don't know what might be in there.
Belarus will just start to slink his way into the cave stealthily.
I can take on the appearance of one of the lesser demons we were fighting and just walk in.
Okay. That's fine. You can do that.
Yeah.
What's
I
up?
want to ask him about the artifact.
Okay. He tells you that the artifact is a scepter that is made out of, supposedly, they haven't been able to confirm this, but supposedly it's made out of a Tarask tusk that the great orc chieftain that sort of founded their clan supposedly was part of an adventuring party that killed a Tarask, and so he brought the tusk back with him and was granted divine favor from the god of the orcs, which allowed him to, you know, sort of rule his clan. And upon his death, this scepter was enshrined in this temple, supposedly keeping, you know, the settlement protected. But when the Cataclysm happened, you know, it proved that at least was not the case, although they haven't been able to confirm whether or not it truly was a Tarask tusk, but it's meaningful to them regardless.
Before Josh's character slinks off into the shadows, I'm going to cast guidance on him. Just to give that little extra boost.
Oh, okay. And
Can we double up? Can I cast guidance on myself too? No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, I think that Azael you were going to attempt to just walk right in the form of a demon, right? Or one of the devils?
Yeah. And
Okay.
if someone wants to be slinking along in the shadows a little bit behind me in case they figure out I'm not what I'm claiming to be, I would appreciate the backup fire support.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what Belarus is doing right now.
All
I'm
right.
also going to say, I'm saying this out loud, but
Yep.
I'm also going to say, as soon as something goes wrong, let us know, by telepathy.
Mhm.
So that way me and, I forgot the other guy.
Xavier.
Yeah, Xavier. So we can rush in. I'm assuming Xavier is going to stay out here with me.
Yeah, I'd say we want to move in just based off of what the telepathy range is.
Well, you guys, so with the telepathy range, the way I'm going to run this is that is for really communicating with anyone else. You guys are able to communicate with each other at unlimited range. You don't need to be within a certain range to communicate telepathically. And that's not your normal ability, but because you guys were put together for this mission, you were granted special ability to do that.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so what I'm gonna do, Bellaris, I'm gonna have you make a stealth check just to get it out of the way, just in case.
Dice stream has not been pleasant. Oh, that's cool. 20, so 27.
All right, nice.
As I enter, I'm going to kind of keep my senses, detect magic and my divine sense on, I'm paying extra attention to those.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now, and as a warlock, that's an ability, right? If I remember correctly, you don't
That's
have to
my
actually cast a
invocation.
spell. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So as you enter, as soon as you enter the temple, you feel that, and the orc Garlic, he's right behind you. He's actually following behind Valaris because he's fairly injured at this point. But you enter the temple, Azael, and you can feel a change in the air. It feels like this was a once majestic place that has now been defiled. And as you look around, you notice that the air around you is shimmering. Again, similar to that effect when you're near like a really hot, really big fire, and it's almost like you have that heat shimmer, but it doesn't feel particularly hot. But your detect magic is just pinging like crazy. I mean, it's almost distracting.
Okay.
And you also notice, kind of with its back to you, it's this winged creature with horns protruding from its head and a barbed tail. And in its hand, you see it's kind of holding this pitchfork that has two kind of forks on it, and out of the tops of the forks are this infernal flame. It's like a black and red kind of non-natural flame, and it looks like it's looking for something on the ground, but it doesn't appear to find it. And then as you kind of enter, it senses your presence, and it turns around, and it looks at you, and it says, "What are you doing here? Why are you not out fighting?"
And in Infernal, I respond, "The big one was killed. I'm waiting for more to show up."
All right, and he looks at you, and nice, and he says, the big one was killed. He says, "We must purge this town." He's like, "There's nothing left here anyway. I cannot find what it is I've come for." He says, "Back to the town, we scourge it, and then we move on to the pesky elves."
Well, if you tell me what you're looking for, maybe I can help you.
And he kind of looks at you, and he says, "You are pathetic. I have no need for you." And he goes, and he's going to cast a spell at you. Oh, snap.
As he's doing that, Bellaris continued moving past Azael through the shadows,
Okay.
and at his first opportunity is going to attempt to stab this guy in the back.
Also, how long has it been since we were fighting the big thing? Like, how long did it take us to get here?
About a half hour, not super
Okay.
long, but about 30 minutes, yeah. So let's see. What does he get? All right. One target. That's no fun. All right, let's see. And I'm sorry, what's your armor class again? Oh, never mind. He doesn't hit you. He goes to attempt to hurl a fireball at you, but he misses, and it kind of streaks past you as you kind of duck out of the way. And you know this creature to be a horned devil. So what I'm going to have you guys do now is roll initiative.
All right.
And what I'm going to actually have you do first is I'm going to allow Bellaris, because you're stealth, you can act in a surprise round and attack him before, and then you guys roll initiative. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and post my initiative in chat since I already rolled it.
Cool.
All right, as I kind of duck out of the way, I'm just going to continue in my persona. I'm just going to be like, all right, you know, basically, don't hurt me. Yes, I know you're bigger than me. You don't have to prove it.
Yeah.
Crit!
Oh, snap. Damn,
So,
how do you keep rolling so high on your initiative, too?
Because I have a +3, I only rolled a 13.
Yeah, but still, you've had the
Yeah, I haven't rolled
top
below a
initiative.
10. Yeah, dude, I don't know. Dice Stream
And
likes
been
my...
sucking.
Yeah, Dice Stream loves my attack rolls, and my Dice Stream has been loving my D20 rolls and not my damage rolls.
Yeah, nice.
So,
He's been sucking the initiative from me, because I think the highest I've rolled tonight was a 5 for my
It's a
initiative.
5. I know. I was like, that's insane.
all right. So that's going to be 8, 9, so...
Oh, what did
11.
you roll to hit, by the way?
A crit.
Oh, yes, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah.
11.
So yeah, 11, 16 plus using my Death Touch ability again, my second use of Divine Channel Divinity.
Mhm.
So that's going to be 82 necrotic damage.
Nice.
Bob,
That's
too bad you didn't have Finger of Death.
Yeah.
Or is Disintegrate still a spell in this?
Yeah,
edition?
it is.
Yeah, but I think it's like 9th level. It's like,
And that puts me back at full health.
Cool. All right, and so let's see. We had okay, and then Clay, what did you roll for initiative?
12.
12. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Oh, nice. So the demon actually gets to go next, or this horned devil, I should say. Well, I'm gonna keep using Dice Stream because why not? I don't really want to kill. Well, I'm not gonna kill you now because you guys are way too jacked. All right. What do we get? What does he want to attack with?
Random question. How long has it been since the last fight?
About 30 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
I just wanted to make sure that the Divine Shield had worn off.
Yeah. So, because this guy gets to attack with both his nasty forked weapon and also his tail, and his tail has some reach, for Azael, he smacks you with his tail, and he actually hits. Ooh, and what does he get to do? Oh, jeez, are you serious? Ooh, nice. Roll a Constitution save. You have to hit a 17 or higher.
Uh-oh. Failed.
Okay. So at the start of each of this devil's turns, you're gonna take 3d6 damage. So in the meantime, you take 12 piercing damage from his tail, and then if he's still alive next round, what's that?
Does that count as magical?
I don't think so. No, it does not.
Perfect.
So, yeah. So at the start of his next round, you will take 3d6 damage.
Why is he taking this damage? Is it like, I know you cast, or you hit him, is it poison damage that he's taking, or?
Yeah, it is, let's see, it says if the target is a creature...
That's necrotic damage.
Is it? Yeah, it says 3d6... Oh, well, technically it says, no, actually, you lose 3d6 hit points at the start of the turn due to an infernal wound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it basically has like a crazy serrated blade tail.
Yeah. Now, you can, also the wound will close if you receive magical healing, or you can make a medicine check to staunch the wound, but Either way, next turn you're going to take 3d6. All right. And then we had... Oh, and actually now Azael gets to go.
All right. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so being a Radiant and a Paladin and everything, I know somewhat about these. If I kill it, does it stop the continuing damage?
No. Well, no, not because it's this festering wound that's open on you now. So, yeah.
It's dark in here. Is this thing sensitive to light?
No, I don't believe so.
All right. You know what? I'm just going to hope that it rolls low, and I'm just going to tank it, and I'm going to charge.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so my disguise falls away, and I'm revealed as, this angelic creature, and I go forward with my spear. And the best roll I get is a 15.
That misses. Oh, and I forgot to mention, he did attempt to stab at Bellaris with his fork, but he missed, so...
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yep. Because, yeah. So, no, the 15 misses. He does not get hit there. Actually, you go to attack him, and he kind of parries with his forked spear, and sort of knocks it out of the way. You manage to hold on to your weapon, but he misses. So right now, you guys, your companions are still outside the cave. So I don't know if you want to alert them or not.
Send a telepathic message to them saying, "Get in here quick."
Okay, gotcha. So you guys run in, and then I know that Victor rolled at a 4, right?
Yeah, it was low. It was horribly low.
Nice.
I'm probably going dead last, so.
And then, what did Xavier roll for initiative? I think I missed it. 12. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Xavier. So what we're going to do then is we're going to go back to the top of the initiative order now as you guys are entering, if you want to enter. So it would be Bellaris next.
Can I cast a spell? Like, I'm not trying to do an offensive spell, but like defensive spell?
Yes.
Like, on myself, or... Okay, I'm going to do Shield of Faith on me.
Yep.
Right.
And then move into the room as far as I can to kind of, seem like I'm threatening type of deal. So he'll maybe target me and not the others.
Yep.
Alright, so Bellaris is just going to lay into him with 3 strikes from his swords. So that's going to be a 15, a 13, and a 27.
Only the last one hits as he parries your first 2 strikes, basically with almost like a, the dual lightsaber kind of thing from the first Star Wars,
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
So no bonus strength, however, I will use my divine strike damage on this attack.
Nice,
so
alright.
That's going to be 11, 9, so 20 damage for piercing and the rest necrotic.
Okay.
I don't know if he has resistance to necrotic, but my inescapable destruction ignores it, if so.
Gotcha. No, he does not. And now, because he rolled... Oh, yeah, he rolled a 15 on his initiative, so he gets to go next. So, yeah, you slash him, and again, you're still... Did you deal the radiant damage?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. So, yeah, only 5 of that would have been radiant. 4 of it... Sorry, 5 would have been necrotic, 4 would have been piercing, and then the other 11 would have been radiant. My apologies.
No, that's okay, but it's all still 20.
Yeah, 20 total.
Okay, gotcha. All right, let's see what we've got. Oh, poor Bellaris. Keeps getting hit.
That's all right.
So,
I've got a hit point buffer
I
this
know,
time.
yeah, you're good now. He's gonna whack you with the fork. He also tries to slap you with his tail, but he misses.
Okay.
Whoops, what am I doing? So the fork does. Yeah, this guy's not quite as jacked. All right, so 11.
That just looks so unthreatening compared to that last thing.
I know. So he takes 17 piercing damage.
Okay, so I have 4 temporary hit points left.
Okay, nice. Yep, and then we've got Azael up next.
All right. Well, having missed him, I'm going to swear an oath of enmity, or it's vow of enmity, which is one of my channel divinity things.
Mm-hmm.
There's no save, and that means for the next 10 minutes or something like that, I get advantage on attacks against him.
Nice.
And now I'm going to swing at him. 23 on my first one.
Yep. You hit.
All right. And my second one is one higher, so.
Okay, yeah, you
Nice.
definitely hit him.
And I'm going to be using Divine Smite.
Nice.
Alright, and he is a fiend, so that's even more powerful.
Yeah.
40 damage, and all but 4 of that is radiant damage, and that's the first hit.
Nice.
Deciding to spend all of my high-level spells on smites seems like a good idea.
Why not, right?
Exactly. Alright, second attack coming in. So many little numbers, need calculator.
I know. Believe me, I know.
Yeah, I'm honestly considering like just doing what SR2 Joker did with of the Astral and just going to average damage for everything, like for the War of the Gods, just because it makes things so much more expedient.
I know. I was thinking about doing that too, but my rolls have actually been higher than the average damage, so I was like, oh man, I can't do it.
And then another 57 damage for my second one, all but 8 of that is radiant.
All right, well, you get to describe how you destroy this horned devil that you now know is what it is.
So, having just been, kind of tossed aside, I just, swear at it in Celestian, swearing its absolute destruction, and as it's deflecting everyone else's attacks, I just slice it once across the chest, and then bring my blade once again halfway into its throat, and then just push it all the way through, and its head just kind of rolls off as it turns into smoke.
Nice. Yeah, and you'll see as it dissipates and it absorbs into your soul blade, this black kind of smoke. And so now that now it's clear. There's no longer any threat in this cave. And you guys are looking around, and Garlak, the orc chieftain, starts looking around frantically everywhere. And after a few minutes, he's like, "It's not here. I can't find it. It's not here." And he says, "I don't know what we're gonna do." But talking about this relic that that he says they stole somebody stole our holy relic. What are we gonna do?
Do I sense any hint of evil or magic?
Well, you do from this what you recognize as this portal that is open, that is allowing a gateway between the realms. It is this essentially part of that shimmering air. Um, that is the portal. And I'm actually, with one caveat, I'm going to let you guys describe how you would normally close this portal. But the one caveat is you will actually not be successful because it turns out you need that success, that artifact, to close this portal. But go ahead and give me a description of how you would normally close a portal like this. Because you guys have seen these before. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Xavier start, and then I'll have each of you guys, if you want to, kind of add a piece to it.
Xavier flies in just in time to see the discordant demon's head fall off. And it's like, I missed the action. And then, like, oh, I gotta deal with this portal now. So while the orc is rummaging around for the relic, he's going to go and examine the portal. And usually, it's just a simple celestial incantation that will seal the portal. And so recites the incantation, and it doesn't work. And he's like, "This is strange. Usually the incantation just closes the portal right away." Polaris, do you recall seeing any actions?
Let me try something. And Bellaris walks forward, and in the typical fashion that he's closed these before, he merely like plunges one of his blades into this portal, and you see like energy beginning to like sort of draw into the blade, and just sort of whirling around it, and it actually gets to the point where it's more energy than he can actually control, and it sends both him and the blade just recoiling backwards across the room, and as he stands up and brings himself back to his feet, dusting off the bone armor, he goes to retrieve the blade. Apparently, even the Taker cannot close this portal.
I start drawing a circle in the dust around it with the tip of my spear, and once it is formed, I pour in holy water and a little bit of alchemist fire. And as I recite an incantation over it to seal the portal, I ignite the alchemist fire, and the fumes of the holy water surround it, and that combined with the incantation should close it. But nothing happens. There's just a little bit of a extra shimmer, a little bit of a fizzle.
Standing there watching, my three companions all fail at this task, I kind of shake my head, and not necessarily at their failure, just kind of, what did we do? And then I kind of turn my head sideways a little bit, and it's like, I say this out loud. It's like, maybe we should all try together and not do it separately. Like, maybe, channel some divine energy into the portal or something along that nature.
It's worth a shot.
Nice. Yeah, and so you guys all do that. You perform this ritual, really all drawing on your strength and fusing it together and combining it. And this all, each action that you guys took individually should have worked, and it was surprising that it didn't. And this combined action should definitely have worked, and it didn't. But what it does do is it creates this interesting effect where it almost freezes the portal, not quite in an icy way, but it's like where the shimmering, you could see physical movement. It's now stopped. So like you can see that the portal is still there, but it isn't moving any longer. So you've had a minor effect on this thing, but you realize that the artifact, the holy relic, really, that was here, was part of, one of the gods, Grumsh, the Orcish god. This was his connection to the world, and so for some reason, its theft has caused things to function in a way that they shouldn't. And Xavier, this is particularly troubling to you because this has never been experienced before, and so this is something that is new in the knowledge that you guys have of demons and the planes, and this is a new twist in the Cataclysm that is something that is going to have to be investigated further. And you kind of look and you notice that the Orc chieftain is somewhat panicky. Actually, he's like, it's been stolen. It's been stolen. Something like this in the hands of those monsters. This does not bode well. And that I'm actually going to end the adventure there. So I'm going to stop broadcasting, but I had a lot of fun. If you guys want to hang out, we can chat a little bit afterwards. But
sounds good to me.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Alrighty, guys.